Hi guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be discussing about Westlife Foodworld Q2FY24 results. So what does Westlife Foodworld do? I'm pretty sure all of us are aware about McDonald's, right? The fast food chain. So Westlife Foodworld has a license, to sell McDonald's and open stores for McDonald's. They're very predominant in the western and the south markets of India. And in turn, they give the main brand, which is an American brand, they give a certain percentage of sales, or which we call as royalty. Now coming back to the Q2FY24 results, let's just discuss it. Yeah. So if you look at the revenue, right, the revenue has hardly grown by 7.4% on a year-on-year, and the PAT has fallen by 30% on a year-on-year basis. Now I won't even go to compare QOQ, because one, QOQ is very how do I put this? QOQ is very weak, very lean quarter. One is because of the monsoon season, so people don't tend to go out and eat generally. And the second thing is also in this year we've seen Adhik Mas, and we've had the longest Adhik Mas, right? So a combination of both has made this Q2 very weak. Now, if you look at it, right, in terms of when you talk about this entire QSR ka model that is there, it has been very tough year for them over the last 1 year, right? Because one was after COVID, the base was very small, so they really performed well. But after that, the inflation came. Then they have one or the other inflation. Either it could be the cheese, the dairy ka inflation, or after that it is the sorry yeah after that it has been the vegetable inflation. And then people were not willing to spend outside and eat, so it has been a very difficult scenario for them, and the entire situation continues to remain that way only. Because if you look at their SSG, the SSG has hardly grown by 1% on a year-on-year basis. Now this is also cause of concern, because if you had taken the entire if you take all the QSR chains, Westlife Football was the one company that was performing well in terms of all parameters, right? Like the inflation curve was relatively less. The brunt was experienced less by them compared to anybody. Also, even when you talk about the store expansion came around 15 to 18 percentage, right? So all in all, it was doing well. But right now, they have also come into the same line as any other QSR, whether it is Devyani, ya Sapphire, or ya Polo, ya Jubilant, right? They've just joined the same line. And see, there is even there is nothing, like, how do I tell, there is nothing significant happening here also. Or whatever the extra, whatever the growth is coming, it is coming by the addition of new stores, right? And once if they stop that addition of new stores that happens, then the SSG will even the top line will fall. Because right now we're seeing that the same store sales growth is hardly 1%. Can you imagine? Just 1%. And again, even the management has been telling the fact that consumer demand is still weak. And there is so much pressure when you talk about when it comes about eating out. Because right now you have so many options, right? Like earlier, when you spoke about eating out, there were hardly one or two things. But right now, eating out, if you go, there is going to be 10 places you can go out to eat. Not only that, in terms of, like, ordering in also, like, these people had, how do I put this, these people had an edge, because nobody were doing the delivery, right? Any QSR, if you see, there was no delivery. But even now the delivery format is attacked, because even a local dhaba can get their food delivered via Zomato and Swiggy. So all of this combined factors, when you talk about the weak consumer demand, and inflation ka pressure, if you talk about, and competition from both organized as well as unorganized market. Because if you talk about pizzas earlier, pizzas ka, the one thing in your head, the brand recall that was there was Domino's. When you talk about burgers, it was McDonald's, right? I think we've always been, how do I put this, we've always been the brand recall has been, when you talk about burger, McAloo Tikki with peri peri fries. But now you go out, there has been so many varieties of burgers. You've got Wendy's, you've got Louis Burger, that and this, right? So many things. So all of this has been very difficult for the brand to survive. And that is what that is what I mean. They're really trying very hard to survive. That is what I can tell. And even in terms of their product portfolio, if you see, there are both value and premium play, and the premium play is performing very well compared to value play. And of course, right, value mein aapka to your only point of value is so that you can attract more footfall. Your value will not at all add any kind of how to put this, any kind of margins. It's never going to be margin accretive for you. So overall, the woe for the business continues. If you go to Q3, of course Q3 will be better. One is because of all the festivals are in Q3. We've seen last year Q2 ka festival, one or two festivals were in October. Now everything has moved into like November and December, that period. So as a result, Q3 will probably be way better compared to Q2. QOQ May, you will see there could be a huge uptick, right? And also on a year-on-year basis also, what is more important to see is, that we see a significant change in trend, not like a quarter may like, oh, acha kya, and then again the same thing continues over the other quarters, the same inflation, that and this continues. So that is what is important to see in Q3, like, do we see a significant change in trend? Because according to the management, they also don't see that happening, all of these problems going away. You can probably see, like one small jump in a quarter, and that is it, and things will probably fall back again to the same lines. So that is one thing, I think with any QSR, if you talk about whether it is Westlife Food Developments, Devyani Sapphire, RBA, and Jubilant, it is something to watch out for next quarter. But other than that, right now, to be very honest, the entire space is not at all lucrative enough. One is that there is hardly any growth in terms of top line. There is problems after problems after problems coming here, and of course, right, none of the companies are at a decent valuations also. So overall, yes, very again, the woes continue. With something to wait and watch until Q3 and see if things get better and if there is a change in trend. Yeah.